All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Very pleased to bring on a gentleman who's done something that I'm in the process of doing, that is writing a book. He's also doing what I do. He's a talk show host. He's a speaker. And we're very pleased to bring on John Couret, who's with us, and we'll talk all about his new book. And John, how you doing?
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Well, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself, about your background.
My background? Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and like some, I have a past. I don't know how far back you want me to go in the job.
Well, you can tell us about the good, bad, and the ugly.
Okay, well, let's get the bad out of the way. So growing up as a teen in Brooklyn in the 80s, I made some poor choices. I got involved with the wrong crowd, made a lot of mistakes, sold drugs in my teen years, got in trouble for that. And it isn't until now, about to be 45 looking back, that although I'm not proud of the things I've done, it led me to this point. So what I try to do now is use those mistakes to help others avoid them.
A lot of people out there might be wondering, well, how do you get involved in drugs? How does that happen? You have the wrong role models? You don't have enough guidance maybe at home? Is it just people in the neighborhood that sort of influence?
All of the above. You know, my mom worked for the IRS, worked a full week, and while she was at work, I was running the streets. There aren't a whole lot of positive role models, so you tend to turn to the people that have the nice cars and the money.
Right.
And you fall into that trap, which is what I did.
And what did that lead to as far as jail time and that kind of thing?
You know, fortunately I was blessed. It never came to that.
Okay.
But my turning point, if you will, I can share a short story with you. You know, we were outside at about 3 a.m. and we were doing all the wrong things. And a car pulled up and shots were fired at us. I was hit. And when you wake up in a hospital, you know, it gives you a real shift in perception. You learn who your real friends are, and you begin to listen to the people that you weren't willing to listen to earlier on.
It's called the wake-up call, right?
That was my wake-up call.
Now, John, I also want to share with viewers that you spent a year homeless, right, on the streets.
Yes, sir, I did.
And tell us about that.
Well, after I recovered in the hospital, I knew if I didn't leave New York then, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. So I left. I returned to some family in Florida. They passed on taking me in, and I understood why. So at that point, my only choice was, do I go back to New York and do the things I was doing, or make a go of it on my own? And I chose to stay in Florida without a home.
So tell us about living on the streets.
It's tough. I mean, you want a wake-up call, just ask someone if they're going to finish their meal. There were temptations there. You know, Florida isn't the safe zone. You know, you can get into trouble there too. But I was determined not to do those things, and literally bench to bench for about 12 months.
Wow. Were you able to stay away from crime?
I was. I'm thankful to say. I think one thing that helped me was I was never involved in using that heavy stuff. You know, that wasn't my thing. So I didn't have an urge to do those things. It was just a matter of, you know, if I want to eat, am I going to ask someone? If I can finish their meal, or am I going to try to take someone to me?
Right.
And I wasn't willing to do that.
So you spent this time homeless, and what was the key in you getting out of that cycle and then being able to then provide for yourself?
Yes, sir. Almost 12 months to the day, I met a friend that worked at one of the local clubs there. When I could see better, I was a decent pool player, so that's how we became friends. And he told me, you know, you're welcome to stay at my place as long as, you know, you respect my things, which I did. And at that point, I had an address, and so it began.
Let's talk about the book, folks. This is John's new book, and we're excited to have him on to talk about this. So tell us a little bit about Breaking Barriers.
Breaking Barriers, how to knock out adversity and live life as a champion. So what I did was I took some experiences that I overcame, and I also used some examples of some other popular figures, football players, a lot of athletes, and just try to give real-world examples of how to overcome some challenges that we all face.
You've had some challenges, okay? You've were involved in drugs, you were homeless, and then you had an accident that left you legally blind.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, I didn't see it coming, pun intended, that's for sure. But I look for the blessing in everything, and by not being able to see, you know, I took a break from work. As I mentioned earlier, I was in auto sales, and you can't very well go driving people around when you can't see where you're going. but it gave me some time to focus on what I really wanted to do, which, as you mentioned, you want to do, write my book.
Right.
So with God's good grace and the help of my sweetheart, Diane Dellis Casa, she helped me bring my dream to life.
Well, I'm excited for you. Now, the book talks about conflict resolution.
Yes, sir.
In a productive way. How can you resolve a conflict without resorting to violence?
You know, there are many types of conflicts. I mean, as my daughter might tell you, you can have conflict every day. It's just more important identifying the conflict and defusing it before it escalates into something much larger. Just yesterday, a friend of mine contacted me about a situation he had at work, and I was able to help coach him through that. So conflict resolution can be a work thing, and it could be something between a spouse. You know.
Centering yourself. Tell us about that.
Finding your peace, man. I enjoy writing, obviously. I spend a lot of time in prayer. Whatever it takes to get back to your center. Exercise is another good one. I just joined the gym by my house.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, centering yourself is just getting back to center and finding your peace.
We're talking about, and these are the 5 C's that John talks
Yes,
about. Another one's confidence.
Confidence. So confidence can benefit you in any walk of life. You know, if you're trying to get a better job, if you're trying to, you know, get a promotion or ask a certain someone out, you know, that confidence always helps. Sit here with a great talk show host.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Now, change. Obviously, it's a change for you to go in a new direction, write this book, do all these things you're doing now.
Change is a big one. You know, I think if you remain open to change, you remain open to possibilities. As you mentioned, for me, changing from, you know, being in the car business, making a decent living, to finding my center, doing something I'm passionate about, that took a little change for me too. And obviously leaving New York and starting all over, that was my biggest change.
And then communication.
100% without fail. By far, someone told me, we should put that one first. And I said, well, I put it last because I don't want to forget it ever. Proper communication doesn't just involve saying, but more importantly, listening. So I talk about that in the book also.
Now, you're also not only an author, but you're a success coach. Tell us about what that is.
Yeah, again, helping people through challenges. I've got a couple of women that'll remain nameless. I'm helping them through some weight challenges that they're faced with right now, and just gave them some positive ways to go about that. I myself, 2 years ago, weighed close to 290 pounds. I'm 230-ish today, trying to get back to 225. You know,
Right.
It's an everyday thing, but you know, coaching.
That's something to feel really good about. It's quite an accomplishment.
I feel great about it. You know, it was just changing a few things in the diet and incorporating a little exercise.
Also, you're doing a talk show yourself.
Yes, sir. I am doing a talk show. It's going to begin in June. They just redid their studio.
Right.
So it's similar topics, current events. It's going to be
Right.
on 102.3 WHIV, which actually stands for We Honor Independent Voices. And the founder of the station is an infectious disease doctor, so that was his own play on words. He's real big in helping keep people well.
Right.
So I'm really excited about that. That's going to begin next month.
So you're going to be talking about all kinds of interesting topics. And of
Yes,
course,
sir.
A lot of the ones that are covered in your book.
Absolutely, absolutely. Hoping to build a nice audience.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. And John, as we conclude here, obviously this is quite a journey that you've been on. Tell us what's next for you.
Well, we have another book in the works. We haven't decided on a title quite yet, but it's probably going to be along the lines of Mindset of a Champion. The first book is obviously about overcoming adversity. The second is going to be about achieving success. So that's a little further down the road. We're excited about our launch. I don't know how much you know about our launch yet.
Well, I know that I want to know more, and I know that it's really inspiring. And again, I want to give people the information, breaking barriers. And there you go, that nice little bookmark. And tell us about that. Is there a website we can go to?
Yes, sir. So writehookmedia.com, that's WRITE, hookmedia.com is our company website. Also, you can find it on my website, johncouret.com. The book is available on Amazon or pre-order from our site.
Right.
And we're going to be having a big birthday party launch on my birthday, June 5th. So
June 5th.
Yes,
And where's that going to be?
It's going to be at Tubby and Cruise on Carrollton Avenue, 1 to 4, Sunday, June 5th. Everyone come out. We're going to have wonderful food. It's going to be a great party.
All right, John. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Good to have you on the program. Congratulations to you.